Hello, everyone. I hope you have had a nice summer. I'm Dr. Sanei. I'm your instructor for ME365 Material Testing Lab. Today in this video, I'm just going to go over a couple of guidelines and key to success in this course. So I'm going to share my screen with you so we could go over the syllabus for this course. So you can download the syllabus on Canvas. That's my last name, and that's how I pronounce it, Sanei. My email is my last name at psu.edu. You can either directly email me here or email me on Canvas. If you email me on Canvas, that gives me the section number and the class. But if you email me directly, make sure to include all the information so I know what you're talking about. The office hours are on Tuesday and Thursday, 11 to 12:30 p.m. If you can't make it, that's okay. You could send me an email. We schedule a time that would be mutually convenient. The lectures are going to be delivered remotely in an asynchronous setting, which means that I will record the videos and post it on Canvas. One important thing that you need to remember is that make sure to have your own discipline. So assign a specific time, let's say Mondays at 8 a.m. Be ready with the paper and pen and watch the videos from the very beginning to the end. Take notes when necessary, pause the video when necessary to ensure that you are learning the material completely. There is no prerequisite for this class, but the concurrent is MATC 259, the material course. So if you have completed that, it's fine. If you haven't, you should be taking the class this semester. Otherwise, you're not allowed to be in this lab. The required textbook is the Callister is required, and Callister is the gold standard for material science for engineers. So I highly recommend to not only to have it, but to use it extensively as well, both in your course and also in this lab. When you're writing about the background in your lab report, you need to refer to the textbook to find the relevant information for the background. For the lab, we do not have one-to-one correlation between the class and also the lab because we might go over a topic that has not been covered in the class yet. So it's your responsibility to go to the book and find the relevant information for that lab. And we are going to use Canvas to communicate. Now that the class is online, then our communication is the key. You need to make sure that you're following every guideline and do not miss any communication. This is the grading policy for this course. The assignment, including homework and pre-lab quizzes. The pre-lab quizzes would be administered on Canvas. And you have the lab report, 85%. For the majority of your grade is lab reports. You have to write 6 lab reports. So this class at some time it might look like a writing class, like English 202, because it involves a lot of writing, so scientific writing, technical writing. And that's the most important part of this class. We would like you to be able to present result in a written form in a very technical and accurate way. We have participation, 3%. So the class is online. The participation for an online class means that you are participating in the discussion questions that I post on Canvas. And this is the grading scheme, so you could see what you would get for each letter grade. Course objective, you can go over it. Policies, these are important information. I want you to read them. And we're going to go to the lab report. So for a lab report, you upload your lab reports in a website called Turnitin. Some of you might be familiar with that from your previous courses, and for some of you it might be new. It's a website that would check plagiarism for us. It would check whether you have copied any part of your lab report from anyone else, from any text on the web, or from reports from previous semesters. So it's academic integrity check for us. So that's why we are going to use Turnitin. So you're going to upload your lab report by the due date to Turnitin, and Turnitin will close after the due date. So you won't be able to upload your report. So make sure to start the upload procedure a few hours before the due date. So in case there would be any technical difficulty, there would be a problem with internet, so you won't miss the deadline. For a report, we would require a specific guidelines. So I have uploaded a guideline on Canvas for writing lab reports that I would like you to follow that. And I will grade your lab report line by line. So if you miss a comma, if you miss a space, I'm going to point it out, and then there would be a point reduction for that one. So it's very important to deliver a very nice and concise lab report. Here is the tentative schedule. We can see today we're talking about the syllabus. I'm going to post a separate video for lab report guidelines. And then you have the CES software. So for those of you who are not on campus, you need to make sure that you would have access to this software through VPN, through remote lab, or any other means, because you would use this software. This software is for material selection. So in engineering, we are dealing with thousands or 100,000 of material. How are we going to select the right material? This software is going to help us. So we are going to have a virtual workshop for this software. And then we have our labs. To identify the material properties, we're going to test them. So tension test, we're going to look into different strain rate effects. Then we are going to have compression, temperature effect, impact, hardness, cold working, and annealing. And we would be done with our lab before Thanksgiving break. But the lab reports, you're going to be writing those lab reports, and the last one would be due after Thanksgiving break. To make it less confusing, I have given you exactly the what is due when. So all the lab reports are due at midnight, and these are Sunday at midnight, so you have the weekend to work on it. And the lab reports are a group work of 2 to 3 students. I would assign the students to each group, so and I will send you an email so you would know who you are paired with. And as it is a group work, which means that the team would get 1 grade. Whether you have done all the work or you have done none of the work, you will get the same grade. So the team would get the credit for the whole thing. There won't be any individual grade assigned. Having said that, you have the chance to review your partners. There might be an individual in your team that is not contributing to the lab report as it should. That's why I have designed this anonymous peer evaluation form. It is anonymous. I won't share this with anyone, so they would not know what you have ranked them. So feel free to evaluate your team members based on different criteria that I have posted here. Was dependable in attending group meeting, which would be virtual for our case. Willingly accepted assigned tasks, contributed positively to group discussion, completed work on time or made alternative arrangements, worked accurately and completely, fair share to lab reports, and so forth. So if there would be an issue, if someone is not contributing in your team, bring it to my attention early so I could fix that. You have the option of firing your teammate. That's right, you could fire your teammate, and then I would assign them individual project. Teamwork is very important. It's not easy, I mean, at any level, whether you go to a task force, whether you go to academia, you have to work and deal with other people. And there are a lot of people who work perfectly individually, but when it comes to teamwork, it's difficult. That's why I would like you to practice that and learn how to deal with people who might not contribute, who might contribute too much and want to take a leadership role, for those who are not meeting deadlines. A lot of challenges that are going to be present in group work, and I'm aware of that. And I would like you to work with that, to learn and grow, to work in a team. And here I'm showing you the lab report rubric, so you know what you need to include in each section. For abstract, scope, and communication. Introduction, you need to have a background about the lab that we are performing. Expectation, required equation. Expectation means that what are we expecting to get? If we are increasing the strain rate, are we expecting the elastic modulus to get higher, lower? Why are we making that, having that expectation or having that hypothesis? And at the end, when we go back to the result, then we'll see that whether we have met that expectation or not. And then in the discussion, we're going to talk about the expectation and observation. So that would be a good guideline to know what to include in each section. And as I mentioned, I'm gonna have a video on lab report guidelines. So watch that video to make sure what you need to do to write a lab report to get a very good grade. You can email me with questions you have.